Off top, parrotfish poop more than a ton of sand every year. Play the music.
This is the Domonique Foxworth Show.
All right, welcome to the Domonique Foxworth Show. I'm joined by the smiling vanilla snack, Charlie Kravitz. What's up, buddy? Why are you so happy?
I was just Googling how much fiber is in sand.
How much fiber is in sand?
Yeah.
And the answer is a lot.
A lot. But, I mean, they're pooping 6 pounds a day.
6 pounds a day. Yeah, that's a lot for a fish, but I learned this when I was in Turks. They were one of our guides on a boat thing was saying how the parrotfish are protected because of how much sand they create. So don't mess with the parrotfish. I do have a hot take, though. I would like to start the show with a hot take. In my preparation for the NFL season, I was looking at a lot of NFC teams. And we're talking a lot about who is the biggest challenger for the 49ers. And I think we're missing a point. I think the Eagles should be the favorites in the NFC.
Over the 49ers.
Yeah. I like the Eagles over the 49ers as of now. Because if you look at how good the Eagles were a few years ago before the 49ers, and I understand the 49ers lost a couple years ago to the Eagles in the playoffs in large part because their quarterback was hurt.
Yeah.
But that Eagles team was one of the best teams roster construction-wise that we had seen. They lost both of their coordinators, and I think their shortcomings last season can be attributed to losing two very good coordinators and some quarterback injury issues.
Steichen and Gannon.
Yeah, Steichen and Gannon.
Immediately, like, we thought that the Cardinals were tanking. They were way more competitive. Gannon had a really physical defense.
Yeah.
Steichen, who we call Steich him, me and Nina, obviously had an effective offense with Gardner Minshew. There were bursts in the 2 1/4 games Anthony Richardson played where the Colts offense was excellent as well. That's a huge part of the success of Jalen Hurts in that offense.
And looking back at last year's Eagles, the offense in particular, a lot of the issues were scheme. Like the issues were they didn't have answers for certain problems. And some of the reason why they didn't have answers is because of reduced mobility from injured quarterback. But I think if you have now Kellen Moore, who I think is a very good offensive mind, taking over the offense, you add to that offense. I know you're going to lose Jason Kelce, but they have a competent, above average center stepping in. They got an even better center potentially behind him.
Playing right guard and Landon Dickerson.
They still have their two great tackles. And, you know, when I start doing my team projections, that's the thing. That's the first place I start every year is offensive line. And they have a great offensive line. Even with Mekhi Becton is a backup. I love that. Then you add Saquon Barkley. Like, why are we pretending like it's going to be the 49ers against the Lions in the championship game?
How much of their offensive line is shaped by what you saw Super Bowl week when you saw Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata at the Wave Media, Jason Kelce Brothers, New Heights Super Bowl party?
Lane Johnson's an impressive human. He's so big. He looks like
in a room of NFL players.
Yeah, in a room of professional athletes. Rasheed Wallace was there. There were NBA players there too. There's some of the most impressive physical people in the world in this room, and Lane Johnson stood out. It was like, that dude looks like he should be a villain in a movie.
He looked like the Giants in like Game of Thrones.
That's exactly what it looked like.
It's like fucking Hagrid was out there.
I thought they were great before I saw Lane Johnson in person. But I mean, you know this. Every year I do this and I start with...
I'm going to get fried by the fantasy community. I don't even know if there was Giants in Game of Thrones, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, there was a guy...
He was big.
There was a guy... The fantasy community, that's what we're scared of now? We're not scared of the fantasy book reading community. Come at us.
You should be.
Nah, I'm good. Anyway.
Call them dorks, I dare you.
Dorks, I dare you. All right, so the offensive line is where I start normally with my analysis. They have a great offensive line. They have backups that are as good as their starters, so I think that's a good starting point. They have two of the best receivers in football. A.J. Brown probably was. Justin Jefferson was injured a bunch last year, but A.J. Brown is in that category of receivers. Throw it over there. He's going to make a play. Obviously, Devontae Smith and all that. Then you add Saquon to this offense to take pressure off the quarterback. As long as Kellen Moore is a mediocre version of himself, he doesn't even have to be the best version of himself, that offense has the potential of being incredible. You go to the defensive side. The one question mark on defense that I haven't seen like fully addressed yet is the linebacking core. That doesn't feel like they've improved it that much, but they added Vic Fangio, a longtime famed defensive coordinator that everyone loves, cover 4 base defense, and they've drafted 2 corners or a corner and a half. We're not sure yet.
Corner and an athlete.
Yeah, corner and an athlete. So they get Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, who I want to play corner, but probably end up playing some nickel and some safety. Yeah.
It's just so funny because Quinyon Mitchell was like the most athletic player in the draft. And I'm calling Cooper DeJean the athlete.
Yeah. So they addressed those issues, the age issues they had there. They are bringing back C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who had like 6 picks, I think, the year he was there with him. And then they still have that defensive line. It's still really powerful. They're moving on from Fletcher Cox, but he wasn't the player that he was before. I just think that we're missing the point. And the issues that they had were mostly coordinator generated. Last year, they cycled through a couple defensive coordinators and never really found an answer to it. So I think we are missing an opportunity, or we're not. We on this show are taking advantage of an opportunity where no one else seems to be talking about the Eagles. Because that's the conversations that I'm having on Get Up now is like, is it the 49ers or who's going to challenge the 49ers? Maybe it'll be the Lions. It's like, but what about the Eagles? Maybe it'll be the Cowboys. But what about how?
It's not going to be the Cowboys.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be.
Let's get past second round Dak before we start talking about the Cowboys.
Right, it's not.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So I want to go through this point by point.
Okay.
Because I do think the Eagles have become somewhat underrated, but I can't agree with you that they should be the favorites over the 49ers. There's not enough proof of concept over the last 12 months compared to what the 49ers have with their team. Coordinators. If you want to start with this, that's the biggest change. Kellen Moore was a very good coordinator in Dallas, but if I were to say to you, was the best 6-week stretch of Dak Prescott's career with Kellen Moore, or was it last year?
It was last year.
Yeah, that's without Kellen Moore.
Okay.
Would you say that the worst season of Justin Herbert's career was last year?
Sure.
With Kellen Moore.
Yes.
So while he's been a very hot name and he obviously did a lot of good things in Dallas, it remains to be seen if he's a transformational figure for an offense that needs Nick Sirianni as far away from it as possible.
Exactly. So I agree with you. I'm not arguing that Kellen Moore is a great offensive coordinator because he would have gotten a head coaching job.
Yeah.
I think he's at the top end of offensive coordinators that are available. My point is the offense is so talented and Kellen Moore understands how offense functions enough. That offense is so talented is all they needed was somebody who wasn't bad. And I hate to take shots, but the offense was bad last year. The concepts were bad last year. They were Shane Steichen's concepts, but they did not have the adaptability that Shane Steichen had. So when you blitzed it, they were like, oh, we don't know what to do with this. And then every week after week, they would blitz it and they still didn't have an answer for it. So that's my thing is, as long as Kellen Moore walks in the door and says, all right, we have these base things that work. When people do this to us, we will react to that. That's my thing is they're so talented. I'm not saying that Kellen Moore is going to make a bad offense good. I'm saying Kellen Moore will get out of the way of this incredibly talented offense. It's hard to imagine that a decent offensive coordinator can mess this up. That's my Kellen Moore defense.
Understood. And a huge part of this, like I am a Howie Roseman stan. I think a lot of things he does is amazing. Like getting Saquon Barkley for $12.6 million when the price for like a Mark Andrews is $14 million annually. It's just he found undervalued assets because the league has made paying running backs so not in vogue that this guy could be a game changer. You looked at their team last year. I believe DeAndre Swift got tackled at the 1-yard line more than any running back in the NFL.
Goodness.
And you're like, okay, well, Saquon won't get tackled at the 1, but it's not just that.
Yeah.
It's that over the last 2 seasons, the worst football we've seen Jalen Hurts play is when he gets banged up. And it's really hard to tell because he plays through it, and obviously he cooked in the Super Bowl other than the fumble, but shoulder injury 2 years ago, the MCL injury last year, and he seemed like a different player both times after those injuries. Well, presumably Saquon Barkley can take some of the goal line work away from Jalen Hurts. And that is incredibly important this year because I think the Kelsey loss is bigger than I think you do. Because Cam Jurgens is like a body double for Jason Kelsey. The tush push is 50% Jason Kelsey, 50% Jalen Hurts. And I don't know if you can trust that being as reliable of a part of your playbook. And that was money. Having that was money. So you need Saquon to replace that short yardage. Yeah. You're shaking your head at me like this is really stupid.
No, I mean, I guess maybe it's possible that I don't completely understand the intricacies of the tush push to the degree that you do.
No one else. I certainly don't. No one else can do it. That's the intricacy I understand.
And I think 50-50 for the quarterback and the center doesn't take into account everyone else's role in pushing that line. My guess is Cam can snap the ball and cut the nose. Like that's essentially what Jason Kelce does in that situation, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't think that you have to take the tush push out of the offense because Jason Kelce's not here. That's all.
The second thing that I would go to as I systematically dismantle your hot take.
You're mantling it.
I'm mantling it.
You're mantling it.
When you see a team quit the way that the Eagles quit, you've been in a locker room.
There we go.
How hard is it to unquit? Because that team they were just like, nope, I think they started 9-1 last year.
Yep.
And they were the 2024 version of the Vikings when all the nerds were like point
differential.
differential, but then also they were like, but this is the Eagles team that we've simped for the year before. So where do we land on our nerd scale of saying that they're frauds? They all quit. This is the same group.
Okay.
Your thoughts on that?
I mean,
AJ Brown was miserable with Jalen Hurts by the end of the year.
He seems happy now. He's ready to do whatever he can to get Saquon what he deserves. Isn't that what he said? Something like that after that Giant stuff came out.
Is any trio going to wear their uniform better, by the way, than Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, and Saquon Barkley?
Oh, when they go Kelly Green, the internet's going to have a kitgasm when that happens. Yeah, I don't know. I like that you're trying to dismantle it because it only makes it stronger. But I honestly don't know what the defense is for this because, like, it's phony baloney sports talk. They quit on the team. Like, I don't know what the that means. They quit on the team. They were getting their kicked. People get their kicked. It happens. They lose. They
didn't just lose.
Okay, so I maybe you've dismantled my argument because I don't have a defense for it. I suspect that these are adult professional men that are going to come back to this season looking to do their best. If you are telling me that somehow you can see into their heart and they are all dogless, I can't tell you that I can see into their heart. My guess is that a couple of those guys got enough dog that they'll be fine. That's my defense for that.
And now, you know that I hate questioning people's dog, so I'll give up on this point.
You question their dog.
Well, now I'm going to move to the defensive line.
Okay.
Which you said it should be a strong point. Are we sure about that? Are you sure about that? Like, you look at Jordan Davis, who seems like a name more than an actual stopper as a football player. The tape grinders out there, the people who fetishize football jargon, as Pablo Torre would be appalled by, they look at Jordan Davis, they look at his tape from the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and they wonder if he was like tanking it. And then sources with the Eagles were like, no, that's just how bad he was in that game. And they needed him out there. Jalen Carter's an interesting one because I think through 7 weeks last year, you would have been like, this is a revelatory player. Look how athletic this guy is. And he had a massive fall off in the second half of the season. That's interesting for a player who wasn't conditioned enough to finish his pro day. I don't understand why we would assume a massive jump from him. That would be something that would be different to what we've seen from his past performance over the last 2 years.
I don't think we need a massive jump. And maybe this is just different in my analysis of Jalen Carter and these other people's analysis of Jalen Carter. Like, I accept that he was up and down, but he showed that he's really good. I think overall he's a top tier defensive lineman. So, and they still got Graham. Like, they still have the players, still have Sweat. Like, again, this is based on what I've seen from this team, and I am chalking a lot of the bigger sample size is them being effective. The smaller sample size is last season, and I'm chalking it up to coordinator issues, and that's all I got for you. That's all I got for you.
They added Jeremiah Trotter Jr. They added Devin White.
I don't know that those are answers to the linebacker situation, though.
And hopefully, I think they're hoping that they get some production out of Nolan Smith, who was still a year after his ACL last year. Look, I think they're clearly the best team in the NFC East. I really do.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're not in the same tier with the Lions and the Packers. But the proof of concept, and if we're going to make coaching a huge part of it, I trust the 49ers coaching staff so implicitly to win football games and be elite. Like Kyle Shanahan, all he does is get first downs.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to push back on the Kyle Shanahan point. I think there are issues to quibble with in Kyle Shanahan's like late game decision making, but I
go for the touchdown in overtime.
Yeah,
kick off first,
and it's not just that one game. You can go all the way back to the Falcons game.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Run the damn ball.
Yeah, there are
Matt Ryan drops back to pass.
There are no perfect coaches, perfect team, perfect situations. I think generally, maybe I'm being a hot take artist, and maybe I think you could go either way on 49ers or Eagles. I think what is more offensive to me right now is realizing as I start to evaluate these teams that it feels like very few people are talking about the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
And there is really no reason to short the Eagles right now, given that they got rid of what I thought were the issues was their coordinator.
Yeah, it's because a lot of people just, watch football like I do, which is on Red Zone and flipping around and reading on it. And you're like, whoa, that team quit. Like they don't have that dog.
Yeah, I think this is the time. If there's ever a time to go in heavy on a particular hot take, is that the probably most talented roster in football is going to be good. Like I it's not much of a hot take, but I feel like I'm alone on this island where it's like the Eagles are going to win the NFC. Let's talk about your buddy Joe Burrow.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you sent me some texts about your buddy Joe Burrow's hair, and I couldn't tell whether you like it or you don't like it.
So a lot has been made about Joe Burrow, handsome guy, Joe Cool, Joe Burr. He's got some pretty elite hair for the first part of his NFL career. The Gen Z kids would say that he has aura, I guess.
Why do you hate Gen Z so much?
Okay.
We'll get back to Joe Burrow's hair in a second, but I need to let the listeners in on a little thing that there's an ongoing text thread from Charlie where it's new issues with Gen Z. You're turning into an old man. Leave them kids alone, man.
Gen Z kids are so I go to a public gym, obviously. Kids come back for summer vacation from college. They go to this public gym and I see them all. They're all wearing like Crocs, mid-calf socks, short soccer shorts, and I guess we have to call them fitted tight undershirts with a chain. And they all have Logan Paul's haircut, and they're all filming on tripods. Let me put down my tiny weights from doing lateral raises without having to walk into you in your Crocs, filming in front of me. The public space of the gym has to be shared. There is a code of the iron.
You do realize that this is like...
You have a home gym. This is the difference.
No, okay, fine. But you realize that this is the epitome of like, get off my lawn talk. Because it's a minor inconvenience for you, if an inconvenience at all. All you got to do is walk around their tripods. It's not that hard. You're just an old man. Just accept you're an old man.
I should be able to have a direct path to the dumbbell rack.
It's a public gym. Walk your around their tripods or walk past. I think what it is you're insecure.
No.
You don't want to be in their videos. Walk past the video.
Also,
get in there.
Would you be doing Bulgarian split squats in Crocs? Would you be lifting in Crocs?
I would not be doing Bulgarian split squats at anything at this point in my life. But yeah, I don't wear Crocs. I'm old. It's fine. It's not for you. Stop being an old man. Accept these kids.
No. They're the worst.
Is that why you hate Joe Burrow's blonde hair?
No. So here's my thought. Here's the thing about this. I'm going to take you into the mind of a white guy who has to wear a helmet. Okay. So Joe Burrow, look, he probably was like, I'm coming off an injury.
Yeah.
Can't be too pretty. Can't have the guys thinking I'm different than them.
Okay.
Shave the head in July.
It's a good move.
I'm not standing out. I'm one of you guys. I'm here to do conditioning. I'm here to wear the helmet. I don't need extra cheese yet. But you do it in July. Come October, come real football weather, he's popping the helmet off and he's got Prince Charming hair coming out, a little bit of sweet cheese out of the back of the helmet, and Joey B's back. The bleaching, it really threw me for a loop because the bleaching, it's now a choice. It's not like I'm just one of the guys.
Yeah, the bleach is a move.
A little shape up before the playoffs, and you can't cut your hair come playoff time.
It's a little Eminem, which so not say this is. We're just gonna get into all. I'm gonna tell all your secrets now because that's another thing that you're into is Gen Z. You're just obsessed with Gen Z. So like you're also into Gen Z kids being introduced to Eminem's music.
Well, that I like.
Okay.
That part I find those videos hilarious.
Because they're shocked at how aggressive he is lyrically, or because they're shocked at how talented he was?
I think it's the aggressiveness lyrically.
Yeah.
There's a series of videos of Gen Z people listening to "Kill You" by Eminem for the first time.
Yeah,
and they are shocked that a human being would say these things out loud
about his mother.
Yes.
Oh gosh. Well, anyway, that's a good place to end. Speaking of mothers, let's go to Roses and Thorns.
How has Domonique been lately?
Bad or good?
Let's find out. This is Roses and Thorns.
All right, we're back. Your favorite segment with my favorite person. Triumphant return of Roses and Thorns. Hey, Ashley.
Hi, honey.
We missed you.
I didn't miss you because I live with you and see you every day, but
I didn't miss you either. We missed you.
I will miss telling my daughter that I got fired from Roses and Thorns. I was joking, but she got because she was like, Mom, you haven't gone into Daddy's podcast, have you? And I was like, no, I guess I got fired. Daddy, she was like, Daddy, why would you fire Mommy? I was like, well, don't worry, I got really great severance. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't know. Yeah, they don't know who's in charge if they think that I'm making hire and fire decisions.
But no, it's nice to be back. I didn't miss you, but I miss seeing everyone.
Yeah, we miss having you. There was a bit of a fan pushback, so they will get off my back because.
But I was fired.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Like, why? The last conversation we had was about interracial dating, and I wonder if I put my foot in my mouth.
Oh, no, you didn't. So what happened?
I didn't. I was so cautious. I didn't.
What happened was we went to, during our Friday shows, we're going on ESPN too. So and
also our kids came home from school.
Yeah.
There was no one to watch them.
It got complicated.
It was a few different factors.
But now we back. And
so what day is this going to come on? Today's Wednesday?
It's going to come on Wednesday, yeah.
It used to be on Wednesday initially, right?
I don't know.
I can't remember, but I think so.
Well, it's on Wednesday now.
I kind of wanted to do it from home today, only because from home you can only see from here up, and I can wear like workout pants underneath.
If you're actually uncomfortable with it, why are you drawing attention to it? I'm confused.
Well, that's how I am. It's kind of like self-deprecating. So I today was like, oh, I have to go in. I haven't worn jeans. I
forgot how you talk to the wall. I forgot.
I love to talk to the wall. I'm going to talk to the camera. Hey, camera 2 and camera 3.
You could just talk to me.
Well, you already know this, so I'm not telling you.
Okay, tell them. I'm sorry.
So basically, I haven't worn jeans in forever, and I've had a great summer. There have been a lot of calories put on. I turned 40. My metabolism's different. My hormones are different. I've gained weight. And so trying to find clothes to wear, because I wanted to wear my 1984, the year I was born, vintage Olympics t-shirt, because it's almost Olympics time. Trying to find a bottom to wear with it that did not give me awful muffin top was impossible in my car, like sitting in these low chairs. So honestly, today I was like, what if I just asked, and he'd already left. I was like, can we just like set up from home and I can do it from home and you can do it from here? But here I am.
Live and in person. But I appreciate you. You're
okay not to be perfect, everyone.
You are back in mid-season form, but I do appreciate the...
What does that mean?
Mid-season form is a good thing. It means that you're not rusty.
That I'm fat. No. That's preseason form?
Gaining weight, preseason form?
You're like...
No,
like
I mean in the way that you're doing the show. You're back to the way that you always used to be.
My own producer, my own director, my own host.
But you actually mistakenly or maybe intentionally set up a nice segue for me and talk about Olympics in fashion, because I do want to talk about the opening ceremony fits.
Which are so... Like, I'm not even the hugest sports fan, if I'm being honest. But I think it's because I love summer, because my birthday's in summer. I've always loved summer. My birthday's July 8th, so I've loved 4th of July. We got married in summer. Like, I love summer. That was just about when our baby was due. But, like, I love summer, and I love July. And Summer Olympics always start in July. And so I'm so excited for the Olympics.
I actually don't know if we want to get to the summer fits yet. We'll get to the Olympic fits yet. We'll get there in a second. Oh, okay. You started talking about how much you love summer. You don't love everything about summer.
What don't I love?
Track meets. we are officially track
I love them in the Olympics, though.
You're a track mom.
I'm a track mom. My sister, to be an can you say that?
You say whatever you want.
Got a shirt for me that says track mom and has my daughter's name on the back. I am a track mom. I go to track meets, sometimes even without my husband, because he's busy. In the spring, he was coaching my son's flag football team, so I had to go to track meets alone. They are, guess how many hours? Someone guess.
6?
No.
Oh, 7?
No.
How many?
The last one, guys, by the time I left my house, which was late because I had to drop off a younger child somewhere in the morning, so I couldn't get there as early as the coaches wanted me to. And the time I got back to my house, and this was like a local, air quote, local one, because to me, it was not local. It was an hour away. It was 12 hours between the time I left my house and the time I got back. So I guess I was there for like 10 hours. I went to Chick-fil-A twice. Hence the weight gain, okay? And I went to Shoppers Food Warehouse because they have the best donuts. Hence the weight gain. And then when I ran out of the Shoppers that I got, I Instacarted more Shoppers donuts to the track meet because the track kids wanted them. Hence the weight gain. But so yeah, track meets are making me gain weight is basically the end of the story.
So this is Avery's first year running track, our 13-year-old, and you are familiar with her speed all the way back to when she was 7 years old. I think we could probably find that video somewhere.
We've done it before on here and we don't have to do it again. Yes, she's been beating me in races.
We have to do it again.
You know what? Do it again because I didn't have a muffin top. Ooh, at least my jeans fit me.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll cut it into the show. We won't put it up here, but
so yes, she's very fast. And she's never run track before, but she would like do soccer. She'll always be the fastest kid on the soccer team. And at her school now, at I guess all my kids' schools, in middle school, they start making them like play sports, which I would die. Like if in middle school I was forced to be on a competitive sports team. Okay, that's not true. In middle school I was MVP of the B team, so I would have been just fine. But like every trimester. So like basketball I could have done in winter, but what would I have done in fall and spring? So for her spring sport, she chose track. And liked it and decided simultaneously to run track for a club team called DC Speed that luckily practices just coincidentally like 5 minutes from our house. And sometimes she's still late, but that's okay. Not when he takes her. When he takes her, he's not responsible for the other two children also. But anyway, she's never late. She's sometimes a slow pickup. But so she runs track and she loves it. And
we love her and we root for her at every single track.
And when I go to her track meets for her school, they're like really, really quick because like they're not fancy and whatever. But when you go to the weekend club track meets, 12 hours of your Saturday, like you don't have a Saturday because the rest of your Saturday you're sleeping or prepping the bag or packing up the car to go to the track meet. And for a lot of the families there, like they love it. This is life. People have Smirnoff ices.
Yeah, like, they have like tents and little parties and cookouts. It's a good time for them, but we are inexperienced track families and they know everyone there. So they like seeing friends.
Although we've seen a lot of his like college teammates who are there with their kids. We're getting old.
Yeah.
All of us.
But my kids are faster than their kids.
Oh, okay.
Which it doesn't matter. It's not important.
And you know what? Maybe I wish our kid wasn't because
she was so proud when she knew she ran against the daughter of one of my teammates. I wasn't at that meet, and I was
because I'm there by myself. This is the one where I got Chick-fil-A.
She called me to tell me that she beat, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. It's no big deal." But a little side fist pump in case I have to talk some trash. But anyway,
so it's her first season. So like I got an email from I don't read all their communications, but something from the club track team about how like, you know, if they make if they do well, then they have to go to this meet and regionals and they have to go to nationals. I was like, that weekend doesn't matter. It's her first meet. We won't be in Greensboro, North Carolina for nationals, and we won't be for her 100 or 200. She made it like almost all the way, but then was just out of nationals. But for her relay team, she was on the 4x100 relay team. She will run one leg of the 100. It'll probably take her, like 12? I don't know. She's pretty quick. It won't take her very long. We are supposed to produce ourselves all the way in Greensboro, North Carolina during a week for which I've already paid for. My kids were only going to camp like 3 weeks of the whole summer. This was a camp week for me. Full day camp, same camp, one drop off for 3 children. And instead, 3 of those days, Wednesday to Friday, we're supposed to be in North Carolina. I don't know if it's going to work for me.
You tell a much better version of the story that is true, but you also are an open book generally.
Open.
So she was at regionals. She qualified for regionals, and if you get into the top 6, I think you go to nationals. And so we're all there. Both sets of grandparents, their cousins there. So their aunts and uncles there. There's a lot of people there that are rooting her on in her team, and they were around the mark to get in, and I think Ashley
she had just missed the 100 and the 200, individual events.
She barely missed those, and she'll probably make it next year because she'll get faster. But anyway.
And she doesn't even need to get faster. Like, when you watch, like Domonique pointed out to me, Avery has us record her runs. When you watch her run, she has no takeoff. Like, she takes off so she's like last in her heat.
Slow start in bad form. There's a lot to say.
And then though, like once it's just time to run, then she starts catching up, and she always catches up.
You're a track mom.
I'm a track mom. That's why I have
You're
a son.
so into it.
But you pointed it out to me, and honestly, my thought was, oh, So I don't know sports, but I feel like that you can gain on. Like that just like getting stronger.
Yeah, the start and all that is technique and also strength. Like she can.
And she's a lot smaller. She still looks like a little kid, whereas she runs with 14-year-olds. She'll be 14 at the end of December, so she runs with 14-year-olds. Some of the 14-year-old girls she runs against look more like Allison Felix. Like they have like these strong legs and like. And so if she is going to get stronger.
But you got to tell the truth about the meet. This is before I want to get to the facts.
I was so proud that she won.
Yeah. So I went to the top of the bleachers to watch to get a better view. The rest of the family is down low and I'm watching. I'm excited. And I recognize that she made it. Barely. They made it into the top 6, barely. So they qualified for national. We go take a picture that says going to Greensboro, Junior Olympics. It's going to be a big deal. I'm walking down, excited to give her a big hug.
I wasn't sure if they made it.
I'm walking down, excited to give Avery a big hug. And Ashley's walking from where she was, and she's happy too. Yes.
Yay, my baby made it.
No, she was like, they just missed it. She was rooting against. She was rooting.
I wasn't rooting against while she was running. I was cheering for her.
Right.
While she was running,
but there's a part of you.
I wanted her to do well while she was running.
But you wanted her to do well, but you did not want her to qualify for the Junior Olympics.
No, at that.
Or you were happy when
at that moment. I thought that she didn't. I'm the silver linings type. Like everything is gonna be good. Like give me, and I'm like, here's why this is a good situation. So when I believe she didn't make it, I was like, that week of camp I paid for, they can go to, and we don't have to go to Greensboro, North Carolina, which is a great. I love North Carolina as a state. It's just I already paid for camp.
That's it. Sounds good. All right. Well, you don't have to go to Greensboro, but I'm going to Greensboro, and
so are all the grandparents.
Yeah,
everyone's going. So then if I don't go, I look like a bad mom. Like I don't care.
You don't have to go. It'll be fine.
And I care.
We got to root for some baton drops. I don't know. I'm nervous about some of these Texas and Florida.
Yeah, I mean, again, haters about to hate. I'm the hater here, but it just feels like we're going all the way down there. And some of the other girls to celebrate our daughter's first year of track making it to nationals. Yay, I'm so proud. She gets her speed from me.
Clearly, as we saw in that video when she beat you in a race,
when you give people confidence at an early age instead of trying to beat them in things at an early age, when you give them confidence at an early age.
So if you guys watched the show earlier in the week, you saw that I beat Declan, our son, in NCAA football. I think that...
I actually don't care. I'm joking.
Yeah. I think that it's different things for different kids. Different kids need different things. He was talking shit in my ear, so...
He was. Oh, my God. He's such
optioned.
A talker.
He had to get triple optioned. Beat that man.
Sometimes he thinks he's stronger than me and that he can keep me from giving him a kiss. Like, most of the time he's fine with me giving him a goodnight kiss, whatever. Sometimes he'll be like... And I'll be like, I just have to show him I'm stronger. I might end up with a black eye because he'll be trying to, like, fight my kiss off, and I try to... make the kiss happen. So I understand having to beat that.
No means no, by the way. If they don't want to kiss,
even
no
when you
want to
give your... Okay.
Yeah. Especially when someone doesn't want affection.
But I know he's...
This is very poor defense.
Take that out.
All right. Let's close out with this because I look nice today, in part because you helped me look nice. You bought this fly shirt for me, and generally I think a lot of men can relate to a woman in their life helping them get fly because you like to make fun of the fact that I just wore really basic stuff when we met, and that was unacceptable.
It wasn't that it was basic, guys. It was like Dickies.
The hate. Dickies were cool.
Oversized.
It was the early 2000s. Oversized.
No, it wasn't normal oversized. It was like a special Baltimore brand of oversized.
A special Baltimore brand. It's just you and your DC snobbery.
No, it
Nothing
was
wrong with Baltimore oversized. We wore big shit.
I remember one day with him cleaning out his closet in Denver, and I was like, I don't think, and he didn't think he needed them anymore either. Like I wasn't forcing him to change. And then I also remember one time at Montgomery Mall at Nordstrom, which sounds so bad. I'm like, darn, we should make more of it, like being in the dressing room together. There's
nothing more to make
on
of
clothes just to make. I'm like, I needed to see them to make sure they actually fit him.
Because I don't know how to dress myself. This is enough bad shit of me.
But all no, he looks so good. No, this crochet cardigan look, that was all him. He picked out one last summer.
That was mostly
where
just
he posted
to Avery that I could pull it off.
Yes, and you did, and it shows you you liked it.
I liked it, and now
he's doing
rainbow
versions.
Declan motivated me to get a tiny chain.
Yes, Declan points that out all the time. He's like, you stole the chain. Look, he's 11, so he was 10 last year. And Declan and his little friends were into wearing chains. And so Dominique was like, ooh. So Declan always points out, Yeah, you got. And then when Domonique was wearing his hair a little longer, you got that from me too.
Yeah, he's a cute kid.
He's so cute.
Bite his style. Anyway, all right. Speaking of people with bad fits, the opening ceremonies, I gotta say, I'm disappointed in what we got.
Ralph Lauren stays with this U.S. Olympic. I can say I appreciate that they're wearing denim bottoms. That's like a youthful.
It's like they look like, I don't know. They look like, it looks British to me. Like, this is not pulling it off.
See, I
Polo
say it
ain't
gives
been popping since the
Americana.
90s. Sorry, Ralph.
I mean, I don't know. I'm still a polo fan.
I'm good. I just think about Trick Daddy talking about how all his clothes are polo.
Yo, no,
like, that was a
man.
big deal
Yes,
in the 90s.
I was listening to Yo No Man the other
that's,
day. Yes,
and also, they just look like employees. Like, they look like they work somewhere. And
I think it looks very traditionally Olympic opening set. They always look like this. But I think I'm like a traditionalist in many ways. Like I like, and so I think that letting it be this blazer like it always is with Ralph Lauren makes sense. But what I wish he had done, Ralph Lauren does, whether we consider it, hopefully we'll consider it appreciation, not appropriation, but he always does a lot of like indigenous prints. And I think he works with like indigenous populations or like an indigenous like weaver or something to do them. I wish they had done embracing the Western cowboy theme that we're all still in our Cowboy Carter era, done like denim blazers with the trim and like maybe a red, white, and blue indigenous print. And I don't really care about the bottom. That would have been really cool.
Anything would be better than this. This looks British to me. And I think this
British,
doesn't look, I don't know, it just looks like stuffy. I don't know. I feel like it's not American. It should be a little bit cooler. Like America is a relatively
young.
Yeah, it's a relatively young country that is like known to be innovative. This is whack. And I think it looks whack in comparison to some of the other countries that had better ones. So I guess
more innovative. Young.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite is the Czech Republic. Those are some fly ass coats right there.
Could you pull it off?
Could I pull it off or would I pull it off?
Would you wear it? Could you? Honestly, both.
I don't think I would wear it, but I do think that the trench coats, the tie-dye looking trench coats with like the graffiti style shirt, and I guess my guy is flagging. I didn't know they had black people in the Czech Republic, but
I was surprised by that too.
That's just a model.
We're everywhere.
They found him somewhere. I don't know that I could pull it off or that I would try to pull it off, but I do think that it looks cool. And it like, I don't know, it has more flair than America. It's embarrassing that the Czech Republic is cooler than us.
At the Olympics? Like I feel like there's something about being like traditional, but like a cool modern traditional.
Well, nothing was modern about USA.
Well, I know what I'm saying.
So they need to put a modern.
Well, I suggested save it for, I don't know if we want to do that in winter. Save it for 2028.
I guess.
Ralph, you're welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, my favorite, and I'm not just being colorist, I don't think. My favorite was Hades.
Yeah, Hades is fire.
Look at this. Look at this. That jacket, I feel like even like someone like you who's not like crazy
the blue one?
fashion. Yeah, the men's one.
I could pull off the blue jacket. I could pull off the blue jacket. I also feel like I could pull off the Haitian print pants. It's all
Haitian print?
I mean,
and it's a Haitian artist apparently drew the print, and a Haitian designer designed it. No, that is like actually fashionable, but you still get some of that like the blazer look with the patch. It's still, to me, Czechs was like not traditional enough at all. So I like that here we're getting traditional.
They did it right.
Also, they are great. Like
it's stylish. It's traditional.
So
it references their country and artists from their country. This is probably the best one of it
by far. Like if it's a fashion show, talent show, hybrid competition where there's a winner, they're the winners.
I do want to give a shout out to Chinese Taipei too, because this is what America should have done. If you want to do suited, then do suited with some flavor. I like this. This is fly.
That is cute.
If you were in Olympics, what event would you compete in?
If I were in Olympics. Okay, if we're talking about events that currently exist in the Olympics, I think I would not win, but the only thing at which I would probably embarrass myself in it, but speed walking. I'm a very fast walker. It irritates the hell out of him. And then I've found
back. It doesn't irritate me anymore. I just let you walk off and eventually I catch
and I'll be
up.
alone, or like with the kids. I'm like, why aren't you? We were in Disney World recently, and I'm like, kids, why aren't you moving? Do you not want to get anywhere? But yeah, they just can't. But no, they can run. See, she can beat me in a running race, but she can't beat me in a keep both feet on the ground at the same time race. But I also have realized that some of the track parents who actually want their kids to get to nationals, which to me is a crazy thought. Like, you want to go to Greensboro. I love North Carolina, by the way. Beautiful, but I just don't get why you want to go to Greensboro for a track meet. Like, go for fun.
We're back at
but some of them put their kids in the speed walking because like apparently it's like not a lot of people do it or whatever reason they feel like it's an easy qualifying. So that's what I would do. If it were something where you could make up a sport, we just got back from like a 10-day trip where we looked fly as heck. I almost went with alliteration, but I don't curse on here. Where we looked very fly, had so many extra clothes, and we're all in carry-ons. I could do like efficient packing, and not like efficient like you're sacrificing your looks. Like, still look nice. I mean, maybe in some ways, like wear flats with your dresses, not heels. They take up less space. But if I could make packing an Olympic sport, I would dominate that. What about you? What sports that currently exist?
They're going to have flag football in the future. I could play that also.
Oh, it's not there yet? I've been hearing about it for so long.
I think it's coming. Also,
but not this Olympics.
I dominate handball because, I mean.
What is handball? Can you explain that one to me?
It's like soccer, but you carry the ball in your hands. You have to like bounce it, throw it through the net.
Literally an Olympic sport.
Oh yeah, I beef with the handball community from a few years back. They don't believe that I would dominate them. I got into Twitter.
Well, more importantly, no offense, handball like, what is the handball community? Like, you can't even prove you dominated because could you find anywhere in this area to even play handball?
It was hard.
Who are you?
It was right before the pandemic.
Sorry. Don't mess with my man. If you have beef with my man, I have beef with you.
I was messing with them. But yeah, don't mess with me.
Don't mess with, like, I'm real chill, but
defensive.
Nivea, don't mess with my man. Sing it for me to him. Okay, so karaoke, that would be another one. I'm the worst singer in the world. But okay, so what's one that you could create that? So you think really handball would be your best?
Yeah, I think it's I think I could handle handball.
Just because you don't respect handball as a sport.
I do respect handball as a sport, but I respect myself as an athlete more than I do handball. My assumption was handball is a third or fourth tier sport in any country, and so you get third or fourth tier athletes.
Okay, that's smart.
I could
could I do well at handball?
What tier athlete do you consider yourself?
How many tiers are
you? Are a 1-tier podcast guest. So thank you for being that.
But Bill Barnwell's still his favorite.
Nah, Bill is Bill's still my favorite. Love you, Bill. He loves this segment.
We're back, Bill. For now, I'll probably get fired again after this week.
Maybe. We need Bill for the fall. He does football. All right. Thank you, Ashley, for joining us. Thank you to all of my great producers and my buddy, Charlie, Serafina, Megan, Tez, Brian, Kevin. We out. I love you, Paul Bill.
This is the Domonique Foxworth Show.